That's my vinyl update for October 2025. Oh, hi everybody, and welcome to another vinyl update. It's November 1st as I'm recording this, so this is the update for October 2025. Not a huge amount, all new albums or new reissues, bar one, which is new but not a new release. Let's just show you what I've got. So first up we have the 30th anniversary edition of Pulp's Different Class. I also bought the CD set of this, which was a hell of a lot cheaper. So this was $102.99 for a 4 LP set. It is ridiculously expensive. If it was 99% of the other albums that have ever been released, I probably would not have paid that money for it. But this is Pulp's Different Class. It is one of my favourite albums of all time. So I could not resist. But yes, what this contains is a remastered version of the album on 2 LPs, and it replicates the original release where you can choose your own front cover from 12 different images, as I'll show you in a moment. And then also a 2 LP set of a complete previously unreleased Glastonbury 1995 performance, 32-page booklet with a newly commissioned essay and never before seen photos, and a 12 by 24 inch art card featuring cutouts of the band members. Yeah, nice solid slip box. And then inside, first up we have the album, which comes, even though the whole thing is in a slip box, this comes in a protective sleeve, and this is because of the alternate covers. So we have a big thick sleeve. I mean, if you're not familiar with this album, get familiar with this album because it's a masterpiece. But it's got Misshaped, it's got Common People, it's got Disco 2000, it's got Something Changed, it's got Sorted for Ease and Whiz. And that's just for hits. All the tracks are fantastic. So then, on 2 albums, or 2 discs rather, you have the album. Nothing overly exciting to look at on those. We have the lyrics. But then you have the alternate covers, so you can pick which one you like. And use it as your display. Now, the original release had this, and my CD version from when the album came out has this, but subsequent reissues haven't. Subsequent reissues just come with this cover, and the version I have on vinyl, which I picked up a couple of years ago, that is a really poor image. It's out of focus, it's really badly done. So it's nice to have these original covers how they should be. For example, that's how it would look inside. Afterwards, then we have the Live at Glastonbury 1995 album called Sorted. So if you don't know, name was Stone Roses were meant to be headlining 1995 Glastonbury. Less than a week before, John Squire, the guitarist, was in a motorcycle accident and damaged his arm, so they had to cancel. So Pulp were promoted to headlining. At this point, they'd not had many hits. Common People had come out and had been a huge hit, and that had sort of catapulted them into superstardom. So this was played, they played lots of songs that had yet to be released. So anything other than common people and underwear from different class had not been heard. So Sorted for Ease and Wears, Disco 2000, Misshapes were all played and were new to the crowd. But yeah, it was absolutely fantastic performance. This is the first time that the whole thing has been released. There's some articles in the paperwork about how they'd had to remaster some of it and the sources and what have you, and so a couple of tracks aren't quite as good quality as the rest apparently. But yeah, that's sort of the selling point for this set, is that release. This is the art card with cutouts. This is the booklet. It's really nice, matte, velvety cover. And then it's got lots of, I'll just flip through random pages, lots of photos, an article about the making of the album, etc. in there. Now, Slice of Vinyl were fortunate enough to be given, I think it was 5 of these, which are replicas of what was a French release of a comic strip based around common people, illustrated by Jamie Hewlett. And this is that release, but with English dialogue rather than French. So yeah, the first 5 people to buy it from Slice of Vinyl were given one of these, and I was one of those. I might have even have been the first. And then they also had posters to give away. So it's promo for the releases. As I say, I have got the CD version as well. And then all the different covers on that side. Okay, so this is the debut album by a band called The Claws. So I first saw them when I went to the Isle of Wight Festival 2 years ago, when Pulp headlined, funnily enough. They were the first band on, I think, or possibly second. I think it was Sophie Ellis-Bextor opened, and then they went down to the lesser acts, and The Claws were the first of those. I liked them at the time. There was a couple of tracks that I particularly liked, but they didn't wow me. But then I also saw them supporting the lottery winners at Portsmouth Guildhall the following year, and I sort of liked them just that little bit more after that. So when I saw this had been announced, there's one track, and I can't remember what it's called, but there's one track of theirs that I do really, really like. So when I get round to listening to this album, I will remember which one it is. But yeah, when I saw that this was being released, I thought I would pre-order it. I bought it as a little bundle of this vinyl version, a cassette, and the CD of it. I went for the bundle so that I could get this signed version of the album. So the band have all signed the album. It's only just been released, and on the charts that were announced yesterday, the 31st, it's a top 20 album. I don't know exactly where, and it was #1 in the indie vinyl chart, I think it was. This was called a gold vinyl edition, but it's a nice gold and black splatter, really nice. This was, I believe, exclusive through their web store. I think they're Birmingham based. I might be wrong. This is the second album by The Last Dinner Party, The Pyre. Haven't listened to this yet, so can't comment on it. But I am looking forward to doing so, because I really liked their first one so much that I then bought the expanded edition when it came out, as you would have seen if you're a regular viewer. But lyric insert, a nice inner sleeve, and then this is the indie Inferno vinyl version, which is sort of a neon-y red. Goes well with that label. That was the word I was looking for. Next up we have the new album by Tanita Tikaram. So I'm a big fan of Tanita, have all her albums, really like her. This was interesting. So it's called Liar, which stands for Love Isn't a Right, and it's been billed as a sequel to her debut album, Ancient Heart. I've got a little bundle with 2 vinyl versions and the CD. I have listened to the CD. I don't really get why it's been classed as a sequel to Ancient Heart. It does feature a lot of the same musicians. However, it's not produced by the same people. It was produced by Rod Argent and his producing partner, whose name I can't remember. The Ancient Heart was. So it doesn't sound like Ancient Heart. I just don't... It didn't really register why they billed it as that. It's a good album. I enjoyed the album, don't get me wrong. I just don't get the Ancient Heart comparison. But yeah, fairly simplistic packaging. This is the brown marble vinyl limited edition version, which I think is the web store exclusive, but I might be wrong. Did come with a signed print. I got a message a couple of days before it was dispatched saying that they changed the artwork on the print to this one. I think originally it was just going to be that, which is the inner sleeve, but instead it's I See a Morning, which is one of the albums on there. One of the tracks on the album, but signed nicely in gold by Tanita. So yeah, you've got custom inner and a nice brown marble. And then this is the other version, which obviously the print isn't in, but this is a pink vinyl. I think this was sort of like the standard release. There is also a picture disc release of it, but I'm not bothered about getting that. It's not an album I want to get every single version of. This is the third, EP by the Bluetones. So they all have similar covers, but different colours and slightly different designs, but all that sort of style. This one is called London Weekend Television, and it comes on a nice orange vinyl, which you probably can't see, but has got a bit of marbling to it as well. So it's got 3 tracks: London Weekend Television, The Aristocrats, and Play Shadow. Yeah, I've got the CD, but I haven't listened to it yet. I was trying to remember as whether I'd listened to it yet. So I don't know exactly what it's like. I've heard bits of London Weekend Television, which I really liked. I believe this is the last of their EPs that they've been releasing. Hopefully they'll follow it with an album, and it'll be a proper album, not just the EPs combined. So this was the only one that isn't an actual new release. This Slice of Vinyl have been getting in, when they see albums available cheap, basically they get them in for a sale. So it's an ongoing sale, but revolving stock. And this I needed for my David Byrne collection. This is American Utopia, which was normally $27.99, but it's only $19.99, so I nabbed that. I know the tour around this was highly acclaimed, and I believe this album was as well, so I'm looking forward to listening to that, although I haven't yet heard his new album that I bought last month. And this has also got, I'm not sure I'd spotted before, this, as the lyric sheet. I think it's a lyric. And credits, etc. Or it might just be credits. Yes, a couple of lyrics, but mainly credits. And then finally, the one that a lot of you would have expected me to get and would be expecting me to show 100 different versions of. But I haven't got 100 different versions of it. This is The Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift's new album. So this is the most common release, which is the Portofino Orange Glitter Vinyl version. So I have got fed up with not so much the number of different variants that she's releasing of her albums, but the fact that a lot of them are only available for like 72 hours at a time. I don't like that, because it means if you haven't got the funds at that time, you're scuppered. So as I sort of protest, all I bought was this and the CD release of it. I may add to it in the future if, you know, other variants become readily available, but I don't know. It's a really nice release and lots of glittery foiling on the cover and on the back. And then it folds out like so into a nice gatefold. And then the album actually comes out the top here. Oh, I forgot. It's also got a little flap there. With a little poem from Taylor. And yeah, the album comes in this weird sort of inner sleeve with the lyrics, and then it just slides in the back there. And then it's this really pretty glittery orange. I have heard rumour, thanks to my friend Adrian, that people have been complaining about the record skipping and everything. I heard it played through on the day it was released in a slice of vinyl, and they had no issues with it. It might be cheaper turntables, you know, your Crosleys and what have you, they have problems with it. That would not surprise me. But yeah, that's it. Those are my purchases for November. Couple of reasons why they're sort of no pre-loved. Last couple of months, Slice of Vinyl have managed to buy in big collections, and they've sort of put those out in one hit. First come, first served, no reserving of anything. I have managed to look through variants of that. I've not been able to get there on the first day for either of them, but I've managed to flick through them a day or two after they've gone out, and there's not been anything I wanted in them. But also, and because they still got these big collections and they need the room, they haven't put any other stuff out lately. But also I am cutting back a bit, just because I've got quite a large pile going back quite a few months that I need to clean so that I can start listening to, but I've just not had the oomph to sit and clean them. Hopefully I'll get that done this month sometime, but we shall see. But it doesn't mean that if they get in something that I need for the collection, obviously I would pick that up. But yeah, that's it for October. There's loads more new releases coming in November, including the Prince Around the World in a Day reissue. I think that's this month. Yeah, I will do a dedicated video for that with all the versions that I've bought, which is most of them. But yeah, plus loads of other bits. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.